Welcome back. The NDC has filed to join the petition that the NPP has sent to court. Initially, the NPP said no. It went to court, and by 6-3 majority, the Supreme Court said they could be joined in there. How is it playing out in court? Many Ghanaian believes that it's going to be a very long, winding, unending case, and definitely will come up to naught.
But this is not a personal issue. This case is not about candidate Mahama or candidate Akufo-Addo. Once again, the NPP, through the petitioners in this case, is seeking to deepen our democracy by strengthening the institutions that are mandated by our Constitution to superintend the electoral process. One, by ensuring that the Electoral Commission is accountable to the people of Ghana.
The initial respondents to the petition were the elected president and the Electoral Commission. As I said earlier on, the NDC as a party applied to be joined to the case. This was granted. And after the granting, Nana Adjei-Gyamfi, a member of the NDC legal team, and Adjei-Gyamfi, the General Secretary of the NPP, gave reactions.
The court, by a verdict of 6-3, has ruled in favor of the NDC. Simply put, what they've said is that NDC is a proper and necessary party to this action. They sponsored President John Dramani Mahama as a candidate. They are most likely to be affected if there were to be a rerun or a new election completely. They'll be affected because in sponsorship you spend money, energy and effort running around the country. So they think that if there's any issue pertaining to questions about this election, then the NDC as a party is a necessary party. In any case, I think the court moved into one more exciting constitutional point. The recognition of the fact that the parties have a specific role to play in the governance, the preparation and the election of a president. Article 55 of the Constitution was really affirmed and came out very clearly that under that article of the Constitution, the NDC can come to court as a party and claim any interest that they are entitled to. But for now, what it really means is that the court is saying that the elections of 7th and 8th December 2012 was about the election of a president by the people, for the people. And really, that is why they're coming out here. The court is saying that the NDC, which sponsored and carried President Mahama as his candidate, having over 5 billion people whose votes are represented in the president, should have a right to speak in this matter.
It is interesting that I believe that the way is now clear for the real battle to begin, and that is what we all clamoring for. And so the NDC having now been joined, we are now the case is open and the way is open for the Supreme Court now to hear the substantive matter that is before them. And my joy is this, that now that the NDC is being joined, if the case goes against them, then they would have no way of complaining that they were not given the opportunity to join. So I'm very happy and excited by today's judgment.
Nana Adjei-Gyamfi and Adjei-Gyamfi there for you. We go to the phone lines before we come back to my guests in the studio. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much. Your name and your point, please.
Yeah, I'm Charles. I'm calling from Dagenham.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah, yes, sir. It's quite unfortunate our brothers and sisters in the opposition just always trying to find faults against the government. If I can say, what I mean is anything that doesn't go to their side is rigged. And it's quite unfortunate. Are they trying to tell us that the 2000 election were also rigged for the former president Kufuor? If this is what they are saying, that means it was also rigged. It's quite unfortunate. You know, they should respect the president. He's a legitimate president of the nation. Therefore, we must accord him the due respect, and they have to participate in the parliamentary select committee or whatever that the government is doing to move Ghana forward. They should put everything aside. I know with all these court cases and stuff like that, it will never come to anything, my brother. I'm telling you and I'm assuring you. Very good evening to you.
Very good evening to you too. Thank you for your call. Now back to my gentleman in the studio. NDC.
The caller made a very beautiful statement. If you recall, there was this issue about creation of new constituencies.
Yes.
They vehemently opposed it. In fact, some of them even went to court. But as we speak, they won 23 of those seats. And so they are just serial complainers. They complain about everything. But the difficulty I have with them is that, in fact, they have raised expectation of their followers so high that they took their eye off the detail that will get them to cross the finishing line. Why am I saying this? I think for me as a person, the NPP lost election 2 months before the election. Right. The comments of can I finish? I'll tell you why.
I'll tell you why. So
the comments of Kennedy
He's got a crystal ball.
No, the comments of Kennedy Japan, the comments of Chairman Sabonso himself, when he came to the running mate issue, like guns are inward looking people. The comments of him, Akufo-Addo himself, all die be die. All these things did not resonate.
Let me indulge you and pick up a call when I come back and look at the points you're making. Good evening, caller.
Hello, Coco. Good evening. Good evening to your panelists, Frank and Godwin. It's Peter.
Yes, Peter.
Right. Thanks so much. Let me start by saying that if the comment like Ghana will be like Kenya did not cause President Mills to lose election, I don't think, all that should cause Nana Akufo-Addo to lose an election. We are talking about a very serious matter here, my brother. Look, you see, if you listen to the argument being put up by NDC, it is so ridiculous, okay? I don't think there is any description in the, Constitution whereby it describes a portion or a particular area where anybody can, demonstrate or boycott. Boycotting, a particular decision is a choice, okay? So if the NDC once upon a time decided to boycott a decision that was going to affect the whole nation, when the parliament has, needed to decide on passing, the national health insurance, NDC boycotted it. So if today NPP is boycotting the vetting of the president that they don't recognize, and it's an issue, my brother, listen to this here. If I don't know those people who are saying that Nana Akufo-Addo did not talk about, the XTL, the company that were purported to have, doctored the figures. It is in the petition. I don't know. I don't think that they have read it. Everything is in there. The Electoral Commission has responded, referring to that. The President John Mahama has also responded, referring to the same thing. And it is a very serious matter here. Look. If you look at the record Electoral Commission gave to the parties that he's going to the abroad, outside the country, to go and register Ghanaians outside, and the list given to the political parties, was 5,000. Only 5,000 people working for government institutions outside Ghana. Today, after the election, the Electoral Commission, in his response to the Supreme Court, has said that they registered 241,000. Even if you compare that number to that of America, America throughout their commission, their missions outside, registered only 18,000 people to vote outside the country. And Ghana, how can a country like Ghana register over 241,000?
Peter, sorry to interrupt you, but I guess these are issues and points in the petition that the Supreme Court will be looking at.
Yes,
So
I'm talking about
I
this
would want to
because
say thank you for the purpose of time. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you very much. Let me come back to my gentleman in the studio. Well, Godwin,
yes.
What do you want the courts to do?
Well, first and foremost, let me say that the application by the NDC is a frivolous application designed to prevent the case from coming to an expeditious end. Is to drag the case on and on and on and on. And I believe it will drag on in the absence of a case management apparatus put in place.
But the CI 7475 stipulates that we should have a speedy trial.
Of course. But nevertheless, notwithstanding that, I am not confident that now that the NDC have been brought into the case will come to an expeditious end. For example, the first respondent, the president-elect, wants to call 4,800 witnesses in a very, very simple case. Not even in the Nuremberg trial, which is one of the biggest trials in the history of the world, where so many Jews were killed, they called 1,000 witnesses. Now, if the president-elect wants to call 4,800 witnesses, imagine the number of witnesses that Esindun Ketia, a.k.a. General Mosquito, now any idiots can go to court, is going to call. You see, so I am not confident that the case will come to an expeditious end in accordance with CI 74.
Well, let me, before Anderson, let me go on to the phone line again.
It's frivolous.
Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Your name and your point, please.
Yeah, my name is Akusia, and I'm calling from Dawson.
Yes, Akusia, please go ahead.
Yeah, I've been watching Black Waku. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
But I'm watching my hair. What is on the this thing? But people come out and say MPP should feel ashamed and all those. NDC is supposed to feel ashamed because what they are doing. Since when we take 3 days to do election in Ghana? Since when? Since when? They should tell me. Since when we take 3 days to do election in Ghana? What a disgrace! That's a disgrace to the NPP, NDC. So they shouldn't come on telling and say this and that. They should accept that they achieved the election.
Well,
so
thank you very much, my dear madam. Thank you very much for your contribution. Now, Anderson, back to you.
Very quickly, I think even before the matter was heard by the Supreme Court, it was always obvious to me and logic that John Mahama did not contest the election on his own. He wasn't an independent candidate. In fact, the Article 55 of the 1992 Constitution spoke about the formation of political parties. And all the candidates were running, the NDC, NPP, CPP, PPP, were running on a political party. And so to isolate the president to be just one respondent without allowing the NDC, that would have been travesty of justice, in my candid opinion. And so for me, right from the onset, it just made sense.
It's not your opinion they're going to use to decide the case. It is law.
No, I'm saying
it is law.
Reasoning,
black and white law.
No, even the Constitution, I mentioned Article 55, that elections are run based on political parties in Ghana.
And are you aware that there is a rule on joinder as far as the Supreme Court is concerned?
But that is what the Supreme Court has now declared, that they have the right. So I don't know. So I don't know what you're contesting.
What I'm saying is that the ruling is perverse in law.
The question I posed,
the ruling is perverse in law.
Godwin, thank you. I want us to address that. Are we going to have a long, winding, unending case that will come to naught?
You see, I would wish we get done with this and move on, because I've looked at the petition; it lacks merit. But beyond that, I think that...
Which part of it?
Can I finish?
Which part of it lacks merit?
Interruption, I'm sorry.
Were you there in Ghana?
But the point is
can we get his thoughts running through so we can
I can do worse than what you're doing. But
don't do it here.
What I'm saying is that, look, this thing is affecting investor confidence. We, as a country, must move on. There are issues to be dealt with. There are important issues affecting human life we need to be focusing 110% of our attention on and move our country to the middle income status. But all these unnecessary distractions, for me, must be dealt with and swept under the carpet. But looking at how things are spanning in the courts and their own tactics, their own delayed tactics. First of all, they started with Dr. Atukuba's appointment as a secretary to the president and said, well, Justice Atuguba, should not be on the panel. All those tactics by themselves are delaying the process. And it would have been nicer just allow the thing to flow quietly in the court while we move on with our lives.
Well, gentlemen, I will give both of you 15 seconds to maximum 20 seconds each to tell us, what do you make of what has happened between the 7th of December and now?
Well, as I said to you, it is a sad case for our young democracy. Yeah. And secondly, with regards to the joinder, in my opinion, as a lawyer, and applying the rules, it is a perverse decision. Now, the rule on joinder in the Supreme Court is that the court, on its own motion or on an application by a party, may join a person. Yeah.
I might have to cut you on there because I need to wrap up.
Party is defined as party to the suit. Now, nowhere in the NPP petition do they cite any issue to do with NDC.
That has had a ruling on it, so
cannot be a party.
We are beyond that.
Wrong.
Now, Mr. Anderson, please wrap up.
I'll be very snappy. My colleague here says he's a lawyer, but I'm not sure he's even more qualified than the Supreme Court judges we have over there. So let's put that to bed. Beyond that, I think that the 2012 election is a manifestation of the will of the people. And we have moved beyond the pre-independent leadership. We're in post-independent leadership. And the appointments being made so far, the governance processes taking place so far, clearly demonstrate that we have moved. Ghana has turned on a new page, a new leaf of life. We have moved beyond this parochial, partisan politics to a more modern.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
We are 4 years on, and we are rationing water
in some parts of NPP and Mr. Anderson from the NDC. The battle continues in court, and the business of running the country, Ghana, goes on. The Supreme Court will make a decision in due course. The discussion, I believe, will continue. Thank you for your company, your contributions, and your suggestions. Focus on Ghana returns next week, Thursday. Until then, keep talking Ghana. Good night.